Hey everybody, this is a farewell video and particularly all my brothers and sisters in Nigeria whom I've spent time with for the last 14 years. This is a goodbye video. It was in 2010, sometime around June, that I landed in Nigeria. The first time I got out of Murtala Muhammad Airport, I was wondering how long I'll be able to spend in this country, which seemed so different back then. But time flew by really fast. It's been 14 years and January 2024 was my last month. 27th of January, I flew out of Lagos. So as I was taking the flight out, all the memories came rushing by of all the things I had accomplished in this place, everything that I learned, all the good memories that I've had. And I thought I should make a video today on all the things that made Lagos such a lovely place to live in for the last 14 years. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the things I'll miss the most in this country. And I'll also touch upon some of the things which I would not probably miss as much. So I hope this video makes sense to you guys, and please don't forget to like and subscribe in case you find this video to be useful or it strikes a chord with you at any point in time. So if you're talking about Nigeria, the first and foremost thing that anybody who has experienced this country will talk about is the people. I think Nigerians are some of the most warm, friendly, well-behaved and the most hardworking kind of people that I've ever seen. I mean, this country has thrown so much hardships to the general population with the economic turmoil and COVID and everything that has gone wrong in this country. Despite everything, people have been extremely resilient. You would never see a Nigerian in the morning who would not smile and greet you and ask you, good morning, how was your night, how's your family, things like that. You wouldn't generally see that with a lot of people, especially, the place I come from, India, right? If you say good morning in the morning to anybody, they just stare at you and wonder what's wrong with you. You don't find that anywhere else very easily, especially back in India. People are too grumpy. So that's one of the most beautiful things that I've experienced in Nigeria, and I think it made me into a better person myself. Nigerians also seem to be some of the most patient people in the world. I'm talking with respect to the traffic situation in Nigeria. They call it the go-slows, right? So every time I get stuck in traffic, I get really frustrated. Especially after 2014, there was a lot of congestion in the port, businesses suffered, there was a lot of infrastructure issues along the Third Mainland Bridge and Eco Bridge, and there was terrible traffic. But every time we are stuck in traffic, I'd see someone or the other dancing around in their car, a Nigerian, listening to the radio music and singing along and dancing. And it's admirable how you can still be happy in that situation. So I think that's a very admirable quality, and many Nigerians are like that because the situation is really tough. There's a lot of unemployment in this country, and still you'd see a lot of people hustling, still you see a lot of people trying to become an entrepreneur. So yep, most of Nigerians are quite motivated people, they're very optimistic people, they're very patient, and they're happy people. So yes, the most memorable thing for me in this country will always remain the people of this country. Well, the second thing which I will remember very fondly in this country is the food. So Nigeria has its own qualities, Nigeria has its own kind of food. I wouldn't go very traditional because I'm not so hardcore, but some of the common food items which I've had here have really put a mark in my memory, particularly the barbecue fish. I think if you go to any part of the country across, you would find places which have point and kill joints where you can just check out the fish that they have, and then you can choose which fish to barbecue and consume. I've had barbecue fish in quite a few places, in Akure, in Enugu, in Asaba, in Port Harcourt, in Lagos itself, and I think in Abuja as well. I haven't tried anything in the north, in Kano, Kaduna, Jos, but of all the cities, I think the best one I've had is arguably Akure and Benin as well. I've had it in Benin as well, but the best one has been in Akure. So I think point and kill barbecue fish is one of my favorites. I'll always miss that. The second food item is a condiment, not food in particular, is the Nigerian pepper. I would add that to anything I have. I mean, in Lebanese food. Lebanese food in the Middle East doesn't taste as good as it does in Nigeria. So, and the trick is the Nigerian pepper. So that's another one of my favorite, which I'm going to miss a lot. The third thing is suya chicken. I think suya is a very amazing item that Nigeria has. I think we should probably find a way to export this to other countries from here. Then kilishi from the north. Whenever I used to visit Kano or Kaduna, I used to try and get a hold of that and complement my protein requirements with that. So that's another good dish. So overall, I think quite a lot of food items which I'm gonna miss, which you find only in Nigeria. I was gonna add jollof rice also to this, but you get jollof rice in Ghana, in Accra where I live now. So I've moved to Accra. Anyway, so that's the food section which I think I'm gonna really miss from Nigeria. Well, apart from that, one of the things which I'll carry as a memory from Nigeria is my visits to the open market. So if you go around in Nigerian open markets, mostly in Lagos and nowadays in Ibadan as well, you would and Port Harcourt as well actually, and some of the other areas in the east, you would find area boys. You know, area boys are local touts, local guys who sort of own that territory, and if you want to operate, you need to deal with them. So initially, when I first landed as a young person, I was very afraid. I had read about them on Wikipedia. There's a Wikipedia page on area boys, and I was like, I mean, if I meet them, I'd probably leave Nigeria straight away because I don't want to deal with these kind of things. But I remember my first interaction on my first day to the market. It was not an official visit. My driver, who was taking me around, decided that it would be a good idea to take me to the market on the first day. So he took me around, and then there were some area boys who wanted to stop me and probably ask me for money. And I didn't have much cash on me, which is not a good thing in Nigeria. So my driver then stepped in and he talked to the area boy and he explained to him the situation and everything. And then he came to an understanding with that guy, and we were off. We went out of market and he took us out back into the car and we drove back. And I asked him what happened exactly. You know, that guy was demanding something, you know. And my driver said, don't worry, in Nigeria, if you're older, you have to be respected. So I'm older than that guy. So if I talk to that guy will listen to me. That was very surprising to me. And it was also a revelation for this country, how people respect their elderly. So that was a good revelation that day. But other than that, when I dealt with area boys alone in, let's say, Mushin Market and Okiaren and some other markets, I never had trouble, which I thought I would have. They were always very reasonable, you know. That's an experience that I probably would have never had working in an FMCG company in any other country, in the developed world especially. So that has been a good experience. Well, moving on to some of the things that I won't miss much in Nigeria. Well, first of all, I think I will not miss the traffic. I think one of the longest durations I've stayed in traffic was around 8 hours from Trade Fair to Ikoyi. And then once I was stuck on Ibadan Expressway for another 8 hours. I started off in the morning and I reached in the afternoon. So really bad traffic in Nigeria. Sometimes you get stuck and you don't know when it'll clear up. There's a breakdown, or if there's something that stops the traffic somewhere, it takes hours to sort of get somebody to clear it out. And so that's something I won't miss. The second thing I won't miss is the generators. Nigeria has a very bad power situation and there's hardly any power supply from the grid. So most of the houses, they get the electricity from the generators which run inside the compounds, individual compounds. When I used to run around in Ikoyi, you'd see the generator smoke coming onto the road, and most of the people would just let it go into the road because there are no regulations on that. So that's something that I didn't like about Nigeria, but I mean, they can't do anything about it because that's the way of life currently in Nigeria. So I think that brings me to the last point, the last one being that of the law authorities. I think there's a lot of corruption and harassment in a lot of places. I saw one video recently of some lady. Her channel name is Itchy Boots, and she bikes around Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria, and a lot of places around. I saw one of the videos where she captured a Nigerian police guy demanding money from her. You know, the guy saying, "I want money." And I thought that guy was one of the nicer guys actually. That guy was asking very decently, not in a crooked way. He just asked her for money directly. And a lot of times I understand, because a lot of these government employees, they don't get paid salaries on time because of lack of funds or whatever, right? So I can understand that, and sort of we end up also paying sometimes because we just want to move away from it as fast as possible. But it just means that the wrong thing can also get by. You know, somebody can just do things which are illegal and you just turn a blind eye to it, while you end up harassing people who are actually decent guys who don't mean any illegal thing. So that's it. That brings me to the end of this video today, and I'm thankful that I had a chance to work and live in this country, in Nigeria. I've learned a lot from this country and I carry back a lot of memories. I'd like to thank all the people in Nigeria for being so nice, and God bless this country. God bless Nigerians. I hope I'll be able to visit again someday in the future. And until that day comes, take care. God bless Nigeria.